You feel it, don't you? That rush on payday, that illusion of freedom, new shoes, new food, new distractions. And just like that, it's gone. No one warned you that the real battle begins after the money hits your account. Because this world wasn't built to make you wealthy. It was built to keep you blind, obedient, and broke. They want you living paycheck to paycheck. They want you distracted by shiny objects and poisoned promises. They want you begging for crumbs while they eat off gold. But you're not like them, are you? You came here because something inside you snapped. Because you're tired of being the one who always has just enough. Tired of feeling the pressure of bills, the anxiety of debt, the silence in your bank account when life hits you in the mouth. So listen carefully, because this is your war map. 8 steps. 8 weapons forged for the financially awakened. 8 principles they never taught you in school. Because if you knew them, you'd become dangerous. Step 1 carves out your survival. Step 2 shields you from chaos. Step 3 breaks your chains. Step 4 starts your empire. And every move after that sharpens your sword. But make no mistake, this isn't about comfort. It's about control. Control over your money. Control over your time. Control over your life. Because in a world built to drain you, the warrior who knows how to command their cash is the one who rises from the shadows and never bows again. So grab your focus, grab your fire, and prepare to learn the 8 financial laws of the unbreakable. Let's begin. Step 1. Find your financial baseline. The first strike against chaos. Most people don't fail financially because they're lazy. They fail because they're blind, operating without a map, a compass, or a clue. They don't know what it costs to survive. They just spend and pray. And that's exactly what the system wants. But a warrior does not walk blindly into battle. A warrior studies the terrain, measures the weight of their armor, and counts every drop of water in their canteen. Why? Because the first rule of survival is knowing what survival requires. Your financial baseline is that rule. It's the number that tells you, this is the bare minimum I need to live. Not to thrive, not to build an empire, just to stand your ground. And yet most ignore it. They treat money like magic. Here one day, gone the next. They commit a sin of the mind called mental accounting, where they categorize their money emotionally instead of logically. Tax refund, free money. Bonus check, time to upgrade. But here's the truth. That tax refund is not a gift. It's just your own money returning from the battlefield, bloodied and bruised, because you overpaid and didn't even notice. And that mindset? It's how 64% of people end up living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they don't earn enough, but because they refuse to track, trim, and tally. So this is your first command. Open the books, create a spreadsheet, and write down every single expense. Rent, utilities, food, insurance, transportation. Then strip away the fluff, the streaming addictions, the delivery obsessions, the dopamine purchases that buy you 15 seconds of happiness and leave you with 15 days of regret. Slice it down until you're left with only what keeps you alive. That's your baseline. That's your fortress. If that number is more than half your income, the alarms should ring in your head. Because it means you're not fighting with strength. You're surviving on fumes. It means you've built your life on shifting sand instead of solid stone. So ask yourself, Do you really need that luxury apartment with the rooftop yoga? Or that cell phone plan with satellite coverage for a life you don't even explore? Or those organic grass-fed avocados flown in from a country you can't point to on a map? This isn't about deprivation. This is about domination. Knowing your financial baseline doesn't make you poor. It makes you powerful. Because when the storm comes, and it always comes, you won't fold. You'll already know what to cut. You'll already know how to stand. You'll already have the blueprint to endure. The weak spend to escape. The strong track to prepare. And the warrior? The warrior builds their empire one cold, calculated number at a time. So grab your sword, your spreadsheet, and the truth you've been avoiding. Because your financial freedom begins here. With clarity, with courage, with control. Step 1 is done. And now the war begins. Step 2, build the emergency fund. Your shield in the storm. Let me ask you something. What happens when the unexpected hits? When the car dies? When the company downsizes? When the hospital calls with bad news and a worse bill? What happens then? For most people, that's when the panic starts. The credit cards come out. The loans pile up. The dignity vanishes. Why? Because they never built a shield. They walked into a war zone dressed for a birthday party. But not you. Not anymore. A warrior prepares for disaster before it strikes. Because we know what the world really is. Unforgiving, unpredictable, and unrelenting. And that's why Step 2 exists. The emergency fund. This is not savings. This is not vacation money. This is your financial body armor. It's 6 months of your baseline expenses, sitting in an account untouched, unbothered, and waiting. Waiting for chaos. Waiting for the moment everyone else panics. And you don't. Because let's be clear, emergencies are not a matter of if. They are a matter of when. Murphy's Law rules this world. Whatever can go wrong, will. So the warrior prepares as if the worst is guaranteed. And when it hits, when the job is gone, when the roof leaks, when your back is against the wall and the world laughs in your face, you won't beg. You won't borrow. You'll draw your sword, reach into your shield, and survive. Let's talk numbers. If your financial baseline is $3,000 a month, your emergency fund should be $18,000. Not in stocks, not in crypto, not in your friend's next big thing. In cash. Accessible. Immediate. Protected. Because emergencies don't care about market trends. They care about destruction. And only the prepared stand tall when the smoke clears. Most people think they'll figure it out when disaster hits. They won't. They'll sink into debt, trade freedom for survival, and hand over their future one desperate swipe at a time. They'll call family. They'll take out loans with interest so sharp it bleeds them dry. All because they didn't set aside money. For a moment, they knew, deep down, was coming. But you're not most people. You're building this fund because you refuse to be a financial victim ever again. And here's the truth. Most can't handle. If you don't have an emergency fund, your life is already in crisis. You're just one accident away from collapse. One missed paycheck away from panic. So fix it now. Open a separate account. Label it. Only when life breaks. Start feeding it with every extra dollar until you built a wall between you and ruin. Let your enemies borrow. Let the weak begin. You prepare. Because a warrior doesn't hope for peace. A warrior trains for war. And Step 2? That's how you survive the first strike. Let's move forward. Step 3. Eliminate high-interest debt. Kill the parasite before it kills you. Debt doesn't just drain your wallet, it devours your freedom. It's the silent parasite living inside your paycheck, feeding on every hour you work, feeding on your sleep, your peace, your future. It whispers, "You'll never be free." And the longer you let it live, the louder it gets. You see, they sold you a dream, told you it was normal to carry debt like a second skin. Student loans, car payments, credit cards, buy, now pay later. Everyone's doing it right. But warriors don't follow the herd into slavery. We know the truth. Debt is the most efficient way to keep powerful people powerless. Because when you owe, you serve. When you owe, you compromise. When you owe, you say yes when you should scream no. And it starts small. A swipe here, a purchase there. Then suddenly you're making minimum payments on something you forgot you even bought. Watching your balance grow as your will shrinks. Let me make it real. If you owe $6,500 on a credit card with a 19.5% interest rate, and you only pay $130 a month, it'll take you 8 years to pay it off, and you'll bleed $6,000 in interest, just for the privilege of being trapped. That's not borrowing. That's financial warfare. And you're losing, unless you fight back. So here's your battle plan. Option 1, the avalanche method. List every debt by interest rate. Target the highest one first. Put everything extra toward that debt while paying minimums on the rest. Why? Because interest is your enemy, and this is the fastest way to crush it. Option 2, the snowball method. List every debt by balance. Target the smallest one first. Destroy it, then move to the next. This method builds momentum. It's less about math, more about mindset. It lets you feel victory fast. And sometimes, that's the fuel you need to keep going. Pick your weapon. But whatever you do not ignore it. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until the collectors are circling. Don't wait until your confidence is so shattered, you start believing you deserve to be broke. You don't. You deserve ownership, control, and clarity. So open the spreadsheet, face the numbers, list every debt, every balance, every parasite still clinging to your financial system. Then start swinging. Visualize the number dropping, feel the chains cracking, and refuse to stop until the last dollar is gone. This step is not glamorous. It's not easy, but it is necessary. Because a warrior cannot build a fortress while termites are eating the foundation. And make no mistake, debt is rot. Debt is decay. Debt is the invisible prison keeping good people small. So break it. Not next year. Not when it's convenient. Now. Because the moment your debt dies, you don't just free your income, you free your identity. And the war for your financial freedom turns in your favor. Step 3 is complete. Time to build something no one can take from you. Step 4, start investing early. Plant the seeds before the war is over. You've cut the fat. You've shielded yourself from chaos. You've slain the parasite of debt. Now what? Now, you build. Not for today, not for next week, but for the version of you that will wake up 10, 20, 30 years from now, either in power or in regret. Because here's the truth no one wants to face. If you're not investing, you're already falling behind. Inflation doesn't care how hard you work. Rent doesn't wait for you to save. And the system? It's not built to reward the grinders. It's built to reward the owners. Those who put their money to work while they sleep. And if that's not you, you're just running in place while others get rich in silence. This is where the battlefield shifts from defense to offense, from protecting what you have to building what you deserve. Enter compound interest, the most ruthless ally in the warrior's arsenal. Every dollar you invest today is a soldier in your army. And compound interest? That's the general that trains them, duplicates them, and sends them back stronger, year after year after year. Invest $6,000 a year starting at 25. Do it until you're 65. With a 10% return, you end up with $2.7 million from just $240,000 invested. That's not magic. That's mathematics. That's what happens when you stop trading time for money and let money create more money. Now imagine waiting a decade before you start. That same investment, it gets cut in half. Not because you earned less, but because you hesitated. And hesitation, in this war, it's death. Where to start? Forget the flashing screens. Forget the fake gurus screaming about day trading and overnight riches. That's noise. That's bait. That's how they trap the greedy and devour the untrained. You don't need a miracle. You need a system. Start here. 401k. If your employer offers a match, contribute enough to get it. That's free money. Roth IRA. After the match, use a Roth. You pay taxes now, but your future self pays nothing on the profits. Taxable brokerage. Once the retirement accounts are filled, this becomes your next fortress. And here's the key. Don't time the market. Time in the market is what builds wealth. Invest a fixed amount every single month. Whether the market is up or down, invest. This is called dollar cost averaging. Buy when it's high. Buy when it's low. Buy without fear. Because over time, the average works in your favor. And that's where most people fail. They panic. They pull out. They try to outsmart the system and lose everything. But you're not most people. You are a warrior of wealth. You don't flinch. You advance. You put your soldiers into the market every month, and you let them march forward while the rest of the world sleeps. Because real power isn't flashy. It's quiet. It grows in the background while the loud ones burn out. This is your legacy in motion. The life you want is not built with overtime hours and sacrifice alone. It's built with patience, with vision, with strategic offense. So don't wait for the perfect time. That time doesn't exist. Start now. Start small, but start. Because every day you don't is a day stolen from your future. Step 4 is the battlefield of growth, the place where warriors turn coins into kingdoms. Onward. Step 5. Maximize tax-advantaged accounts. Fortify the fortress while they sleep. You've begun investing. Your army of dollars is marching. But now it's time to build something stronger, smarter, untouchable. Because what's the point of growing your wealth if the system just comes back and bleeds it dry? Understand this. Taxes are the silent assassin of your financial empire. You grind, you earn, you invest. And then Uncle Sam steps in with a grin and a blade, slicing away chunks of your future without apology. But here's the twist. They gave you the blueprint to fight back. A secret path. Few know it. Fewer use it. But the warriors who do, they win. Welcome to Step 5. Maximize tax-advantaged accounts. First, the 401k. This is your corporate war chest. If your employer offers a match and you're not taking it, you are walking past free money every single paycheck. Let's say you earn $90,000 a year and your employer matches 3%. That's $2,700 handed to you, no questions asked, just for showing up and contributing. It's not charity, it's strategy. Take it. Even better, your contributions reduce your taxable income. You put in 10% of your $90,000, you only get taxed on $81,000. That's power. That's leverage. That's a legal loophole for warriors. But it doesn't stop there. Next, the Roth IRA. This is your long game weapon. Unlike the 401k, your Roth contributions are made with money that's already been taxed. But here's the kicker. All your earnings grow tax-free. Read that again. Tax-free. Dividends? Untouched. Capital gains? Untouched. Withdrawals and retirement? Untouched. This isn't just about saving money. This is about building a fortress the government can't penetrate. Let's say you max out your Roth IRA every year. You're not just investing, you're building a future with no strings attached. And here's something they don't tell you in school. You can withdraw your Roth contributions anytime. Penalty-free. That's flexibility. That's liquidity. That's another reason the Roth is a weapon, not a cage. Which first? It's simple. Max your 401k match. Free money. Max your Roth IRA. Tax-free gains. Then come back and contribute more to the 401k if you still have ammo. Every dollar you deploy through these accounts is a dollar protected. A dollar that compounds without interference. A dollar that's working for you, not being siphoned by broken systems. So let me ask you, why would you invest in a way that lets the government drain your earnings for decades? Why would you fight to escape paycheck-to-paycheck life? Just to hand your victory back in taxes? You wouldn't. Not if you're awake. Not if you've come this far. Not if you're serious about freedom. These tax-advantaged accounts are not nice-to-haves. They are foundations. Fail to use them, and your empire crumbles. Use them well, and your wealth grows silently, legally, and explosively. This is the move they don't teach. Because if everyone knew this, fewer people would stay broke. But you're not everyone. You are the exception. The disciplined, the dangerous, the determined. And step 5, it's how you weaponize the system while they sleep in ignorance. Next step, sharpen your focus. We're not done building yet. Step 6, invest through a taxable brokerage. Forge the overflow into firepower. By now, your foundation is solid. Your emergency fund is full. Your high-interest debt is dead. Your retirement accounts are fortified and growing in silence. But if you think the mission ends there, you've mistaken survival for conquest. This step isn't about safety. It's about expansion. Because real warriors don't just defend the castle. They build the empire. Welcome to step 6. Invest through a taxable brokerage. This is where your excess money becomes a force multiplier. No caps, no contribution limits, no red tape, just pure firepower. What is a taxable brokerage? It's your open battlefield. A standard investment account where you can buy stocks, ETFs, index funds, and more, with fewer restrictions and more flexibility. Unlike the 401k or Roth IRA, you're not boxed in by rules, but you are subject to taxes if you profit, which means this account must be used strategically. This is not for gambling. This is not for chasing hype. This is for long-term positioning. Your strategy: long-term, low-cost, unshakable. Here's what a financial warrior invests in: Index funds that mirror the performance of the market ETFs with low fees and wide diversification. Blue chip stocks that grow like trees, not fireworks. This isn't about adrenaline. It's about ownership. It's about buying pieces of businesses that continue to make money while you train, sleep, or bleed. And here's the part most people get wrong. They think investing requires constant watching. But a warrior doesn't check the battlefield every minute. They trust their training and execute with patience. Avoid the trap. Market timing. This is where rookies fall and warriors rise. When the market crashes, the weak pull out. When the news gets loud, the emotional panic. But not you. You'll deploy dollar cost averaging, investing the same amount every month, regardless of what the market is doing. $200 today, $200 next month, $200 the month after that. And when prices drop, you buy more shares. When prices rise, you still invest, just fewer shares. Over time, this reduces your average cost per share. You smooth out the volatility. You stay in the game while others burn out, trying to time their perfect moment. And let me tell you something brutal. No one knows when the perfect moment is. Not the economists, not the experts, no one. The market is not a machine. It's a battlefield of fear, greed, and misinformation. The only consistent winners are the ones who stay disciplined, while everyone else panics. Set it and stare into the horizon. A true warrior doesn't flinch when the earth shakes. They plant deeper roots. So, set your automatic transfers. Invest your extra income through your brokerage account. Choose vehicles with a long-term vision and ironclad fundamentals. Then stop watching the daily drama. You are not here for today. You're here for legacy. You are buying power not just for yourself, but for a future version of you who never has to fear the system again. That version is waiting. And step 6 is how you get there. You've mastered the defense. Now you're stacking weapons. The battlefield is shifting. You're no longer just surviving. You're preparing to dominate. Step 7 awaits. Let's go. Step 7. Buy back your time. Because time is the only currency that can't be re-earned. You've built the walls. You've sharpened the sword. You've started stacking wealth, one calculated decision at a time. But now we step into the rare air. This is where most people plateau. Because they forget the final truth. Money is not the goal. Freedom is. And freedom is bought with time, not toys. You can make more money. You can invest in assets. But the one thing you'll never get back, the one resource slipping through your hands every second, is time. And if you're wasting it on things that drain you, steal from you, or numb you, then you're not rich. You're just busy. This is step 7. Buy back your time. The illusion of productivity. Society conditioned you to believe that doing everything yourself is noble. That scrubbing your toilet, mowing your lawn, washing your car, and running to 3 stores for a $10 savings somehow makes you more disciplined, more responsible. No, it just makes you distracted. Because every task you take on without question carries an opportunity cost. Time spent doing something you hate is time not spent building the life you want. It's time not spent starting a business, learning a skill, nurturing your health, or simply breathing. Let that sink in. Step into warrior math. Let's break it down like a strategist. You spend 3 hours cleaning the house. Could you earn $100 in those 3 hours through your side hustle, freelance work, or focused skill building? Could you pay someone $40 to clean it for you? If yes, you just bought back 3 hours for $40 and used that time to make $100. That's not laziness. That's leverage. That's what separates the stuck from the rising. Identify the energy leaks. Do this now. Write down every task you hate doing, the ones that drain your soul and waste your day. Next to each one, estimate how much time it takes, how much it would cost to outsource it, how much you could earn in that time doing something more valuable. Then ask the real question: what is the value of your time, and are you honoring it? Most people never ask. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they're tired, burnt out, and spinning in circles. But not you. You're a warrior. You track your resources like your life depends on it. Because it does. And time? That's the rarest one of all. This isn't about luxury. It's about focus. You're not outsourcing because you're too good to do the work. You're outsourcing because your mission is too important to be delayed by dish soap and dirt. You're trading dollars for days. You're buying clarity. You're buying energy. You're buying the one thing no one can hand you later when you're burned out and full of regret. This is the part where the rich get richer, not just in money, but in life. They've bought back their hours. They've removed distractions. And now, every minute they spend is one that compounds in health, wealth, and freedom. You can do the same, but only if you stop treating your time like it's worthless. So ask yourself, right now, how many hours are you sacrificing doing things you hate just because that's how it's always been? What would your life look like if you bought back that time and reinvested it in your purpose? This is step 7. This is where you start building the life you actually want. Instead of managing the one you're barely surviving, buy back your time and build your empire with precision. We've come far, but the final step, that's where it all locks into place. Let's finish this. Step 8 is waiting. Step 8, automate everything. Because discipline is built in the shadows, not through willpower alone. You've survived the chaos. You've slain the debts. You've fortified your future. And now, you've even begun reclaiming your time. But there's one final enemy left to conquer. It's not a person. It's not a crisis. It's not even lack of money. It's the slow decay of decision fatigue, the erosion of willpower, the subtle collapse of discipline under the weight of endless choices. Because here's what they won't tell you in motivational speeches. Even the strongest warriors break down when they rely on raw effort forever. Wake up. Make 50 financial decisions. Pay this bill. Transfer this amount. Remember this date. Reallocate that budget. Sounds noble, until it eats you alive. That's why the final step is the most important of all. Step 8. Automate everything. Not because you're weak, but because you're smart enough to protect your strength. The truth about willpower. Every choice you make throughout the day chips away at your clarity. At first you're sharp, decisive, focused. By the end of the day, you're vulnerable. And that's when you make your worst decisions. That's when you click buy now on the thing you'll regret. That's when you skip your investment transfer, delay your savings move, forget the bill, and spiral. Not because you're lazy, but because you're human. So remove the option to fail. Build a system that wins without you. Set it up like a warrior. Step 1. Direct deposit to checking account. This is your command center. All income funnels here first. Step 2. From checking. 2 paths. Spending account. Bills, groceries, gas, essentials. Savings, wealth account. Emergency fund. Debt payoff. Investing. Every dollar has a destination. No drift. No guesswork. No sabotage. Spending account. This is for survival plus strategy. You automate fixed bills. Set spending limits for lifestyle costs. Restaurants, entertainment, shopping. This is where you spend with precision, not impulse. Savings wealth account. This is your launch pad. From here, your money flows into emergency fund, if not full yet. High interest debt, if still active. Investments, IRA, 401k, taxable brokerage. Opportunity costs, hiring help, buying time. And here's the key. Once it's automated, it's done. No more questioning. No more forgetting. No more relying on your motivation after a long day of battles. You become consistent without even thinking. You become reliable without burning out. You become dangerous because your system operates even when your energy crashes. This is how empires are built, not on intensity, but on consistency. Not through daily sprints, but through systems that run while you sleep. But there's one more thing. Automating doesn't mean abandoning awareness. Check in twice a month. Adjust your allocations when life changes. But outside of that, let the system run. While others drown in forgotten bills, missed payments, and empty savings, you'll be growing silently, moving with ruthless precision, and stacking wins without ever having to wonder, did I forget something? Because you didn't. You planned for it. And now, your money moves like a disciplined soldier, following orders without hesitation. This is mastery. This is what separates the hustlers from the strategists. This is where you stop fighting your finances and start commanding them. Step 8 is not the end. It's the beginning of effortless domination. You've built the system. You've armed your accounts. You've fortified your future. Now step back. Let the machine run and focus your energy on what truly matters. Becoming unshakable in every area of life. This is how warriors create wealth. This is how legacies begin. And now, you're ready. You made it. Not just through another video, but through the battlefield most never dare to walk. Because the truth is, most people will keep living in financial chaos, spending without thinking, borrowing without plan, investing without strategy, and waking up each day wondering why their life feels like a cage they can't escape. But you chose a different path. Let's recap the war map you now carry. Step 1. Know your financial baseline. You calculated the bare minimum required to survive, cutting through the illusions of just enough and facing your true cost of living like a warrior. Step 2. Build an emergency fund. You built a shield. 6 months of peace that lets you stand tall when chaos erupts. While others drown, you float. Step 3. Eliminate high-interest debt. You hunted the parasite, the invisible chain feeding on your future, and you didn't beg, you broke it. Step 4. Start investing early. You planted seeds that will grow into empires. You learned that time isn't just passing, it's your greatest multiplier. Step 5. Maximize tax-advantaged accounts. You started playing offense smarter, not just harder. You protected your future from the silent killer, taxes. Step 6. Use a taxable brokerage. You stopped waiting for permission. You took your overflow and put it to work, expanding your power while the world watches TV. Step 7. Buy back your time. You realized your energy is not infinite. You stopped trading hours for approval and started buying back your life. Step 8. Automate everything. And finally, you built the system. Not a wish list, not a dream. A machine that runs while you rest. Because discipline is not about doing everything manually. It's about removing failure from the equation. This is the path. Brutal, focused, liberating. Not one step is flashy. Not one is easy. But each is a blade, sharpened to cut through excuses, confusion, and chaos. You now hold the blueprint. The financial war map they never gave you in school. Because they never wanted you to win. But now you know. And knowledge, backed by action, becomes a weapon. So here's the final question. What will you do with this power? Will you drift back into comfort? Or command your freedom with every dollar you earn from this moment on? The world doesn't need more passive victims. It needs warriors with clarity, systems, and control. You've taken the first step. Now, march. Welcome to the elite. Welcome to GrimFace Financial. And welcome to the warpath of the free.